Okay. Sweet. Grab this over here. All right, let's check this back here. Okay, all right. All right, cool. No, what's going on? Okay, cool. Hello, Roxy. How are you, my dear? Hello, hello. What is it, Thursday? Happy Thursday. I was not on yesterday. I decided to take a day off because I needed some rest. And I'm back. I'm back with back today with free readings. You're doing okay? It's life, right? Okay, I think I'm good with that. Hello, hello, my dears. How are you all? Thank you, Ink to Mama. Yeah, it's life. It's life. It gets to be whatever we define it as, and sometimes we're feeling some kind of way. Hello, Elaine. How are you? Okay. All right, my dears. I'm going to get into it. Feel free to come in and say hello. Oh, yay. I'm glad that you're here with us, Elaine. Oh, glad you can finally hear us, Max. So hello, my beautiful souls, or what? I don't know. My beautiful brothers and sisters, or however you want to identify with yourself, with life, with yourself in this lifetime. I'm not always the greatest with words, and that's okay. But hello. My name is Angelica, and from Infinite Love Healing, and I am an Ascended Master Healer, an intuitive empath, a Reiki master, a quantum creatrix, and magician, and really, all of those terms are just terms that I personally resonate with, that can kind of contain and somewhat define what it is that I do within like the spiritual realm and spiritual work, etc. So really all, other terms that might help you to define that a little bit further is like, I'm a channel, I'm a light linguist, I'm a healer, energy worker, right? I'm fucking fantastic with energy work. I'm a shadow worker, I'm a light worker. Again, like I said, I'm a Reiki master in 3 different types of Reiki. So Usui, Holy Fire, and Karuna Ki. I'm an intuitive coach and a mentor, and I'm extremely, extremely empathic, claircognizant, and clairaudient. So I feel things. I feel energies very, very profoundly. And that is how I receive information mostly. My readings tend to be like, I utilize my empathic superpowers and super prowess in order to discern and translate information, as well as claircognizantly just knowing things, and clairaudiently just hearing things. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Jillian. Okay, so I am offering free and paid readings today. And so the free readings, I'm starting to feel a little bit inspired to shift. And I'm just going to play with it because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I'm just going to be transparent about it. Okay, so free readings. So for free readings, leave a comment with your name and a question, yes or no. It can be yes or no. It can be whatever, however specific you want to. I find the more specific you are, the more specific the information it is that can flow through. Because sometimes when we ask a vague or general question, we're going to get a vague or general answer. Okay, and then it could be also general love, health, career, etc. The only thing I don't do is pregnancy or fertility readings because it's not my bag. And then it can also be just a 1-card pool. Okay, and the way that I work with free readings is that I just allow, what is this? That I just allow my intuition to guide me. I just allow spirit to guide me to whoever needs to be read. Okay, and so I think I feel like I would like to keep the free readings a little bit shorter, so that I can get to as many as I can. And then if you'd like to skip the line, there really is no line, but if you'd like to get on the list and skip the line and be first on the list, then the donations of 20 minimum are for readings only, and all links are on my profile, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and then you got to let me know in the comments if you do donate for reading. Okay, the donation exchange is 20 for readings and 33 for energy work and mediumship. Okay, there you go, my dears. All right. And then also just beware, there are fake accounts out there pretending to be me and soliciting people directly, DMing people directly for readings. And please know that I will never do this. Please report any accounts that do this, that are pretending to be me or have my likeliness, my my likeness on there, because I will never do that. It feels icky to me. I don't like it when people do it to me, to be very honest and transparent. So I will never do that to you. Please report those accounts, as they have blocked me very ingeniously, and I'm not able to report them. Okay. So if you would like a free reading, I'm going to keep the free readings shorter. And if you would like a more in-depth reading, I'm going to invite you to donate for, for a live reading. And if you'd like to go even deeper still, very, very in-depth, I invite you to book on my website a private reading. Okay. All right. I think that's my spiel. Please share out the live, like the live, and please know that all of my lives will be on my YouTube channel. So if I'm reading you, or if you just want to go back and watch the live, or the Wi-Fi glitches or whatever happens, you can always find them on my YouTube channel. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start scanning the comments. And thank you all for being here with me today. I love it. No, for reals, I do appreciate it though. Okay, hello. Hello, new peoples. So I'll just say right now again, reiterating that I do not do any pregnancy or fertility readings. It's just not my bag, because that's very interesting to me. And so yeah. A lot of generals. Okay, a lot of generals. All right. So I'm just going to tune into the collective. Very interesting. All right, Jillian, I'm actually feeling you, my dear. I know you're here, but will you confirm for me for you are here? Let me know that you're here, my dear. Okay. All right, you said general. So I feel like I'm gonna try something new. And then I'm gonna do actually cards first, so that I'm conserving my energy. Okay. All right, General Jillian, let me connect to you first. Interesting. When I tap into you, when I connect to you, my dear Jillian, I feel green and I feel blue. Blue a little bit more prominently. So to me, that always says expression, throat, truth, honesty, and dealing within that throat chakra, or that throat, energy center, and dealing with, that's a huge power center for us, if we're not dealing with, so it still feels like you're still in how do I say this? It still feels like you're in this stretch of time or just cycle that you're really refining and distilling down your truth. Now, this is always like, to me in my head, what I believe is that it's always part of the process, right? And sometimes there's more, it may be more intense periods of refining or distilling down our truth because we're changing every day, every moment. But it does feel like this is still prominent, very prominent in your field. And with the green being there, that says to me heart energy. And so it actually brings me to the high heart of like really incorporating and integrating, speaking your truth vulnerably, authentically, listening authentically, vulnerably, etc. In a loving way. Because sometimes we can say the things. However, if we're operating from a place of like a wounded space, like if we're operating from our wounds, if we're operating from, just a wounded space, then we might feel very hostile when we're speaking our truth, because we're like, well, fuck everybody. And yes, yes, if people don't like what you got to say, they get to find somewhere else that's more resonant, right? So fuck them. As well as there's always a balance within everything. There's always a balance. So like, yeah, fuck them. Whatever. If they don't resonate with your message, cool. That's great. They get to find their own resonance elsewhere, as do you. And also, it's like checking ourselves. Where are we speaking from? Are we speaking from those wounded places? Which, if so, that's actually a great indication and a great invitation to, that there's work there. There's an invitation to delve deeper, for more self-awareness, etc. This is just what I get for you when it pops up. So it just feels like you're still in the same, it feels like this is a confirmation for you, my dear, that you're still in the same cycle. I know that, like, I feel you like, well, what's next? What's new? What else is coming in? This is what's coming in. It feels like really focus and allow yourself. It's the invitation to really go super fucking deep. As deep as you can, as deep as you want to, as deep as you choose to. Okay? So I do feel this like little thing over here that's like, but like, what's next? What's next? It does feel like you're in this cycle of just really the throat and the heart and blending them together and allowing them to work together in a greater harmony, in a greater synergy for your own highest and best good, and for you to find your true expression. Does that make sense? So I thought I was going to do cards first, but sometimes when I tap into people, it's just like bam, 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 bam. You hear my cat? You're welcome. Stagnant. So that's where you're at right now. I might have to get my cat. So this is the on top of on top energy, you could say, the surface energy. Hold on one second. Okay, no, come on. Go over here. All right. Sorry about that. He's like sitting here meowing in my face, and I can't hear myself speak or think. So stagnant. This is maybe not necessarily superficial. It's more underneath, I would say. And there he is again. But so then you got opposition. So it feels like lack of direction, feeling powerless. This is why I feel for you there is this invitation to really go deep within yourself. Because a lot of times we want to stop and we don't want to face some things. Yeah, and then you got vulnerable, okay? So there's a lot of different things. The invitation there is practical advice is keep going deeper. I invite you into, you know, self-healing, whatever healing work or shadow work or belief work that's going to serve you in really going deeper, okay? That's what I feel for you, my dear. Okay, all right. So it's just a confirmation for where you're at. I know that you've been wanting, like, you know, I see you on the lives all the time. So it's just a confirmation for where you're at. Just keep on going with that. Kelly's talking to me. Elaine says that's kind of funny. Readers with cats, they always meow. Yeah, if it's not one of them, it's another one of them. I have 4 cats, and if it's not one, it's another one until they get settled and they're like, oh, okay, because they're very sensitive to energy. All right, so gonna just see. I got 3 inside, and all the strays come to my house. Yeah, I used to have that too. Okay, so if you do want a free reading, here are the guidelines. I'm going to do my best to keep it pretty short. Okay, so leave a comment with your name and a question or general love, etc. And then to skip the line to get on the list and to like get up, not really above all that, but you know what I mean, on the list, donations of 20 minimum, and all links are in my profile. You gotta let me know in the comments that you did donate so I can do your readings first. All paid and donation-based readings go first. And then the donation exchange again is of course 20 for readings and 33 for energy work and or mediumship. So I'm just scanning the comments. Okay, let me fill in. All right, let's read yours. Inked. Heaven. Is that your name? That's a cool name. Is my brother's girlfriend just after is his inheritance. Okay. So I'm gonna connect to this. The first answer that I hear when I tune into the connection is no. Feels like a bit of a misunderstanding and maybe even some projections on others' parts. There might be a little bit of that going on. But I don't get like a big like yes. I get more of a no. So I'm just gonna see what the cards have to say. Oh, there we are. So I actually feel, let's see, you got the Ace of Cups, overflowing love. The connection there feels more love-based. There might be some wounds being played out, and that might manifest into perceived gold digging. Okay. I don't think that's necessarily, or feel that that's necessarily what's going on. There might be some wounded shit going on, because it's a lot of us, if we're not actively doing our internal work, there can be a lot of that going on. Or we can act from wounds unconsciously and not really understand or know that that's going on. So I don't feel that that's the case. I feel like there's some perceptions going on, in addition to, some wounded behavior manifesting, and so it looks like a certain way when in actuality there's a combination of your own projections or people's projections of this person, as well as her own wounded behavior. Okay, that's what I feel. She says, I'm just overprotective of him. She makes good money. They were together 3 years, split, and have been back for 2 years. We just thought maybe because she came after my dad passed. Yeah, it just feels like some wounded stuff playing out. She, again, on her part, as well as projections of others, and like your overprotectiveness is going to create a certain filter, right? So you're going to perceive her in a certain way. Okay, so just to and you get to choose how you perceive her or not, so yeah. So that's what I feel about that. You're welcome. So share out the live, like the live. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I think it just raises stuff in your own consciousness of, of things to be aware of. But I don't get like it's a big no. There's some love there. So there's some definite love, especially if they were together for 3 years before. Okay. All right. So, my dears. All right. Let's see what's going on over here. All right. Oh, whoa. Thank you, Jillian. All right. Okay. All right, Sarah. Sarah Bear. Thank you for the roses as well. Oh, I like that. Thank you. Let me know that you're here. I know that you're here, but like just confirm for me so that I know that I'm not reading. And Sarah asks for a love reading. Okay, sweet. All right, you said love. When I feel into your energy, my dear, I'm taken to my sacral. And then I hear receptivity as well as receiving. I would actually interpret this as there being maybe what do you call it? Like a self-worth or a worthiness, or feeling unworthy, like a worthiness block that doesn't feel super worthy or deserving of receiving. And this feels like it's mainly affecting love and money. So I don't know if money if you find it easy to create financial abundance, or if you find it difficult. But that's just kind of what's coming through. So I'm just like saying, I'm just kind of relaying what I hear. But it does, I'm taken to my sacral, so it feels like more, I would say there's an invitation to really dig deep and figure out what is the worthiness, the worthiness or lack thereof around receiving, feeling worthy of, feeling deserving of. Do you hear the thunder? That freaking rattled my windows. It feels like that. It feels really, really deep, and that feels like it also stems back to childhood, which it usually will. So that feels like it would be your main resistance or your main challenge, or theme to explore, as far as maybe how you associate love, or your, let's see, how you associate feeling deserving or worthy of love. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's kind of what I'm getting for you, my dear. Like, how worthy do you feel of love? Of really, really having like an aligned partnership with someone that feels good, that has healthy relationship dynamics, that is uplifting, empowering, like interdependent, or whatever it is, whatever values you value, whatever characteristics or components that you want in a relationship. Um, what parts of you maybe feel unworthy of that? Okay, I would ask questions like that. Okay, because it feels like that's your biggest block from attracting that. Not to say that you can't attract that while having these or working through these things, because I believe that you absolutely can. You hear the thunder again? At the same time, in my own experience, becoming aware of like these really limiting beliefs from that I created when I was young, and I didn't even realize what the fuck was going on. I was just creating my reality based on my experiences that I had, and I made these mean certain things, that it wasn't based in truth. It was based in an experience that wasn't inherently true. Okay, so it feels like that's what's kind of going on as far as love, and that feels like working through that will help bring more aligned matches to you. Okay, that's what I would say for about in regards to love. I hope that makes sense. Sarah says, wow, yes, absolutely. I understand that completely. That makes sense, or that makes sense. I'm glad that makes sense for you. All right. So I'm going to continue to scroll through the comments. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I like it. So if anybody else wants a free reading, let me know. If not, it might be a quick day for me. You're welcome, Sarah. Thank you for being here, my dear. Um, Antoinette says, hold on, let's do it this one. Antoinette says, career, that you're an empty nester and have no clue what to do. Let me know that you're still here, Antoinette. There's a lot of career stuff coming in. So share the live, like the live. My name is Angelica. Thank you so much for confirming that. Too many thoughts in my head at once. So my name is Angelica from Infinite Love Healing. Doing free readings and paid readings today. So interesting. So if you'd like a free reading, just leave a comment with your name and a question, general love, health, career. It can also be a one-card pool, right? And if you'd like to skip the line and donate and be first on the list, so to speak, you get donation of $20 minimum. All links are in my profile, and you got to let me know in the comments if you do donate. And then 20 for readings. That's the donation exchange, as well as 33 for energy work and mediumship, okay? All right, so Antoinette, you said empty nester and you're kind of looking for a direction. And as far as career. Okay, there you are. I was just connecting to you first. Okay, career. Okay, so as far as career goes, or vocation in order to bring in financial support, right? As far as that goes, it feels like there is, what is this? There's a clarifying period right now that you're in order to like become really clear in like what lights you up, what are you passionate about, what are you joyful about, what makes you happy, as well as it's also meant to bring up the resistance you have towards that, or any conditioning, social programming, etc., that you have that would that your ego might be, giving you feedback on, of like, no, you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to be safe, or you can't do that, that's impossible, like feeding you stories, feeding you narratives that frankly are no longer serving you, especially if you have more time to dedicate to yourself and your passion, your joy, what lights you up, right? So this feels like a clarifying period to lead into that. And as far as, let's see, as far as, this is really interesting. I have no idea. Because I'm like, wait, what? As far as maybe perhaps something that would light you up, what I'm hearing is the word pets. I don't know what that means. I'm going to be super transparent here. I'm not sure what that means, but it keeps coming up and I keep hearing it repeated in my head. So I don't know if you have pets and they might bring inspiration to you, or creating something for pets. I don't know how this is supposed to come in, but that's kind of like the only thing that's coming in right now. Let me kind of see if there's, let me like listen for a moment and see if there's anything else. They're like, nope, that's okay, fine. Okay. Beyond that, okay. All right. One second. So I understand where you're at and you're looking for direction, right? The clarifying, if you can really lean in and choose to lean into, okay, this is where I get to find out what makes me happy, what lights me up, what am I most joyful about, what am I most passionate about, and what are my resistances to following that and putting my energy into my joy. That's going to give you a lot more clarity and allow for more downloads to come in as far as steps to take. So I will say I don't get like super clear on clear things, like a clear answer of like, oh, do this, do this, do this. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. And in the cases that I don't, it's more of an indication to me that the invitation is more for the person to excavate or discover that within themselves through the process in which they are being invited into and given the opportunity to lean into. Okay. I keep hearing like that's all they're giving me is pets. I don't know what the heck that means. And that could be totally wrong, and that's fine. But that's all I'm getting as far as like career stuff. So it feels like just a clarifying, get really clear on what makes you happy and your joy. And then what are your resistances to that? What do you believe to be true, that why you can't, or why you're not deserving, or why you're not worthy, or why it's not you, or why it can't be you. Get into your beliefs work and like your shadow work. Okay. That's what I feel. It's for anybody who resonates. If you resonate with it, take it. That's the beauty of working in a group like this, because if you resonate, well, because spirit speaks through all of us, right? We're all conduits. It just depends on how perceptive are you to the diamonds that are sitting right in front of your fucking face. Thank you for the gifts, Emma, or Amina, sorry. Okay. I'm actually feeling you. Marlena, are you still here, my dear? Marlena asks, how do I get the spark back in my relationship? And Antoinette says, thank you, that helps and makes sense. Need to do some self-healing and trust the process. Yeah, it is, because a lot of us want to just fucking be there. But the process is the point most oftentimes. And trust me, I get that. Because I just want to fucking be there. So I totally get where you're at. At the same time, I've also had to learn, and I'm still learning, like, the process is the point, right? The process is the point of it. Because in the process, you might become aware of certain things or whatever that make you stronger, that help really strengthen your resilience and your ability to believe in yourself, your confidence, your self-esteem, etc. They give you the tools that you need in order for when you get there, you actually have all of the tools and the foundation that you need and require to be at that next level. Okay, so Marlena, you said, how do you get the spark back in your relationship? Okay, thank you for, I like instant results, but life doesn't get that. Yeah, I get that. Absolutely. I get that. The process is the point, and the process is where we get to choose and get feedback and choose again and get feedback and then choose again. And so we get to like really get super, super down and dirty and like in the trenches, so to speak, within the creation process. So enjoy it. It's like learning to enjoy the process. Okay, Marlena. I'm on to you, Marlena. Tuning into you, my dear. So I'm tuning into you. Now I'm going to turn into the connection. Okay. When I tune into you, I do feel like when I tune into the connection, rather, I feel that there are, obviously, when we have like relationships with, it doesn't matter what type of relationship, there are cords that are created. Okay. So, and within these cords, some can be, healthy, and some can be, unhealthy in the way that they just reflect certain, maybe certain relationship dynamics or certain energetic dynamics that we were programmed and conditioned to inherit or inherited for survival, right? For survival, for connection, in order to receive something. So, with that being said, it does feel like there's some, I guess, more unhealthy, quote unquote, unhealthy cords here that feel more codependent. And codependency doesn't necessarily have to be a quote unquote bad thing. A lot of people, the term that I like to use is interdependent, is as a more healthier expression, because if we become too codependent on someone, we could actually be depending on them for our happiness rather than knowing, taking responsibility and accountability that we are in charge. Us as an individual are in fact in charge of our own happiness, not others. And if there's too much of a dependence or reliance on others making us happy, or a relationship making us happy, there can be a strain, like fizzles on the relationship. And it almost like, it's like the energy cord gets heavy and it like, and that's kind of what feels like is going on here, is there's too much of a dependence on the relationship to create your happiness rather than creating it within yourself. Because if both partners are indeed taking responsibility and accountability for their own happiness, right? You're taking responsibility for your happiness. Your partner is taking responsibility for their happiness. And then whatever happiness you create together, that gets to be the cherry on top. That gets to be the icing on the cake, so to speak. And so it feels like there's too much of a dependence on the relationship to create your happiness. And so then you're therefore feeding into a cycle of like, what do I need to do? First, I feel is like, hold on. First, it feels like fill your own cup. And maybe you could do this as a partnership. You could do it together. Be like, okay, but together as individuals. Does that make sense? Like an invitation to really take responsibility for your happiness, them to take responsibility for their happiness. First of all, right? The relationship isn't there to make you happy. The relationship isn't there to fill a void, unless you find out it is, and then you get to decide what to do with that. Okay, but it does feel like there's a little bit of that vibe, a dependence on for the relationship to make you happy, and then it feeds into the cycle of like, what do I do? And the spark is gone, and it also feels like there's this thing that comes into play of this old conditioning, programming around relationships. Like the spark always dies. You got to get the spark back. Really, it's not the spark in the relationship that's missing. It's the spark within you. It's the spark within your partner. That's where the spark starts to kind of die down. Does the relationship shift and change over time? Yes. Okay. That doesn't mean that the spark dies. That doesn't mean that there's not happiness that can still be cultivated. It does feel like an inner job. As with most of my readings, they're going to be like inner work, inner job type of thing. So that it feels like there's too much dependence on the relationship bringing you happiness. And so it's like inviting you to put the focus on how happy are you in your life. Not to say that you go completely into yourself and are arrogant in that to the point where you neglect your relationship. There's always a balance point. But it does feel like, we can't feel from an empty cup. We get to fill our cup first. They get to fill their cup first. And then when we get together, the love overflows. The spark overflows. There's more of a magnetic, electric attraction thing that's going on. So it feels like the energetics are just off in the way that taking responsibility and accountability for your own happiness first, and then see how the relationship shifts from there. Okay, that's kind of the only thing that comes through with that. Okay. All right. Let me fix this over here. There we go. That's way better. Let me know if that resonates with you, my dear, or not. It's okay if it doesn't. If it doesn't resonate, don't take it. Oh, boy, that's there's some stuff, man. Okay. You're welcome, Marlena. I hope that helps you in whatever way that you need that. Hold on, what's going on here? Diana. Somebody paid for a reading. Diana, are you here, my dear? Thank you, my dear. There you are. Did you have a certain... Thank you first. First of all, thank you for the donation. What kind of reading did you want today? How can I serve you? How can I be of service? So if you do want to, whatever comes up. Okay. So if you do, and you're a subscriber, that's great. Thank you. If you do want to skip the line and get on the list and be read more in depth, donations of $20 for readings. All links are on my profile, and then you got to let me know in the comments that you donated. Thank you, Marlena. I appreciate it. And the donation exchange is $20 for readings and $33 for energy work and mediumship. And I actually find that when people pay or donate for a reading, there's more information available because the exchange is actually being honored. So Diana says, whatever comes up, and also that I'm lost, that you're lost. What's really great about being lost is that's how you get to find yourself again, and that's how you get to redefine yourself. So let me just connect to you, my dear. There's Diana. Okay, there you are. And then you said, okay, whatever comes up. Okay. I'm actually feeling to go to cards first. See what wants to come in for Diana. Yeah. I feel that. Okay. Whoa. There's that. there another one? There might be one more. I think there's one more. Whoa. And I don't always use cards, but cards are just like an extra tool for me in order to pull in more information. Okay, so these came out together. All right, so I'm gonna start from the top. Your first card that came out was offload. Release, reduce, readjust, set priorities, and delegate. Okay, so this card feels like when I said being lost is a great opportunity to find yourself again. I wasn't, that's kind of what I'm saying here, or what I'm seeing here is setting your priorities, readjusting, release, release what's no longer yours, what's no longer serving you. So when I felt this way many fucking times. And I still do to some degree certain times. And when I do, what's coming in to share is that when I do, there seems to be underlying, it could be beliefs about yourself, about the world that's limiting you, fear-based limitations that are just like running, these programs that run in our head. So beliefs create thoughts, thoughts create emotions and feelings, feelings create actions, actions create results, right? So there's a whole line of energy. And so if your beliefs are that you're not worthy, or that whatever, it's time to excavate, those limiting beliefs, those fear-based beliefs, or the beliefs that you're unworthy, the beliefs that you're not good enough, or that you're somehow never going to make it, or never going to do the thing, or whatever the belief is. It might be time to take a little bit deeper of a look, because I find when I'm lost like that, I find great benefit in really looking to the programs or the conditioning that's operating, that I'm operating on. And I've been surprised. I'm still surprised to this day of like, oh shit, that's operating. Holy cow. And it comes off in layers. So there's always, you're never going to really be done with, the inner work. It's more of a way of life, like fitness, or like, the way we eat, it's a way of life. So it feels like it's also an invitation to really come deeper into yourself, more self-awareness, understanding what makes you tick, understanding your wounds, your traumas, your emotional traumas or woundings that have created certain, or even past experiences that created certain beliefs in yourself, that, because it feels like that's one of the main invitations here. Okay. And typically when somebody comes to me for reading, that's typically going to be the case. There's an invitation to go deeper into self-awareness. Self-awareness creates greater opportunity to reclaim your power. Okay. Because there is a sense of powerlessness here. I'm feeling like, fuck, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I feel powerless to my circumstances. It feels like powerlessness. Okay. The next card, so that feels like the readjust, set priorities. Okay. What are your priorities right now? Take it a little bit at a time. How do you eat a whale? One bite at a time. Okay. The other, let's see. I'm going to fill into this one. This is your next card, Powerhouse of Energy. This feels like more aligned to you. The word that actually sticks out in my brain is playful. Becoming more playful, letting your inner child play, getting creative, creating for this just for the sake of creating, that it's fun, that you enjoy it. If you feel lost, just as an example, maybe draw out what that looks like. It can be abstract as fuck, or even writing out like, oh, in a journal or a diary or whatever, I feel lost, I feel this, and just let yourself just like flow. This feels like use that energy, because that energy is coming up for a reason, and that when you lean into that energy, like I'm lost, like try it for real. This is a tool. So I invite you, it's your choice, but I invite you to, get a notepad, a journal, whatever, and just write how you feel. Just keep on writing and writing and writing and writing and writing, and see what comes up. See where that leads, and see if there can't be some offloading in within that. And you're also tapping into creativity, okay? And the two cards that came out together, let's see which card comes first. Okay. Okay, all right. All right. Then the next card that came out is the Justice card, Major Arcana card. Cause and effect is what sticks out in my brain. Life lessons also, as well as balance. So, and also truth at the bottom there. Truth, balance, integrity, cause and effect, life lessons. So this feels more like a rebalancing. We become lost, or we feel lost for a reason. It's to redefine ourselves. Fucking offload, right? Find new ways of being creative. What connect to actually what brings us joy, or new ways to create, as well as this feels like a time in your life where you're being invited into finding a greater balance within yourself. So emotional, mental balance, physical, spiritual balance, as well as, really understanding certain life lessons that if you integrate the lessons, sitting with those lessons, integrating with those lessons within your life, feels like it creates spaciousness, a greater clarity, and a greater understanding of who you are. I'm also feeling there might be hints of like maybe seeing others on social media and feeling like they have it all fucking figured out. Like, this person knows what they want and do. I will say most people don't know what the fuck they're doing. We're all just living and making choices, receiving feedback, making more choices. And some people, the way they might come off on social media might look a certain way, but it might be very contrary to what you might perceive them to be. Okay, so there might be some of that there, but this feels like balance. It's a time to balance mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. This is where you're moving towards emotionally fulfilled, completely content, happy, right? Satisfaction. However, you gotta go through this other stuff first. Okay? Be creative with the fact that you're feeling this really I guess lost can feel heavy sometimes, like feeling lost. Um, Finding new creative ways to express those emotions that might be more heavy, more uncomfortable or unpleasant. Find new ways to express that. If you like want to buy some paints, some watercolors, and just like, this is how I feel, and just mush them all together, all the colors together, fucking do that. If you feel just like writing, do that. If you feel like putting on some fucking heavy metal or some, R&B or whatever and just dancing it out, fucking do that. How the one of the main messages here feels like finding new ways to express this energy that you're feeling, because it's going to help you move through it, release it, as well as it's going to create some space within you in order to receive the clarity, or like, oh, I was holding on to this belief, or like a thought pops into your head of like, oh, I believe this. Holy shit, wait, what? I don't want to believe that. It feels like it creates spaciousness for you to come into a greater depth of clarity. Okay. And then that's all in service of balancing, in order to move towards that emotional fulfillment. Because it feels like emotionally you feel a little cut off, or a little, what's the word or the phrasing, like on autopilot. It feels a little like that, like you're there, mostly, sometimes but there's a lot of like, there's also like disconnectedness within there. And sometimes you feel, more connected, and sometimes you just feel like, I don't feel as connected to life, to myself, to my purpose that you actually want to feel. And so you're moving towards that. It's just, disconnection. You're moving towards that. It's just one of those cycles or phases within your life that you're experiencing right now, that is designed divinely to bring you into greater connection with yourself. And sometimes that means going into our underworlds and like really figuring out, reckoning with that energy, reckoning with those old beliefs, reckoning with those old experiences. Does that mean you need to bring it all up at once? No. Does that mean you need to remember everything at once? No. Does that mean you need to remember everything at all? No, not necessarily. Things heal without us having to know every fucking thing. However, it feels just like an invitation to go deeper, more self-awareness. What really lights you up, move towards that. And it's going to bring up some shit that you also have to move through too. And I'm sorry about your doggy. I know that can be hard and difficult. It feels like also there's some grief, because if you let your doggy get his wings, then you're also processing grief. And grief can feel, because there's all of the different stages, grief is also non-linear. And so it feels like there's some maybe double layering. I feel like a lot of times death, when we experience it, no matter how close or how far or however, how well we knew someone or not, it transforms all, not just the person that may be passed or transformed, or the being that transformed and went into non-physical. It transforms all. So that energy is actually just moving through your life right now. And it's designed to uproot what is no longer serving you, so you can come into greater clarity. Being lost is actually one of the greatest fucking things that you can be. And if you can start embracing that perspective, that might help support you in shifting, your perspective around this. And just the way you begin to see of like you can only find yourself and redefine yourself if you lose yourself first. If you kind of like lose all sense of like, fuck, I don't know who I am. That's the first step in redefining. It's redefining ourselves, recalibrating ourselves, transforming ourselves, and then like it's the phoenix. It's the phoenix that burns itself, goes up in flames, and then rises from its own ashes. Okay, so that's kind of where you're at right now. You're welcome, my dear. Yes, I know. Hi, Bella. Yes, there are fake accounts out there who actually have quite a few followers, by the way, that are pretending to be me, that are soliciting that they are me and DMing people directly for readings. This is not me. Yeah, and I feel like sometimes they do the thing and then they block people so they can't be reported. So thank you for letting me know, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to like say that again. Okay, I really appreciate that. Okay, you're welcome, Diana. Is there anybody else that wants a free reading? In the meantime, if you do feel guided to work with me one-on-one, I offer a wide array of healing sessions in the form of ancestral, Reiki, just kind of your overall like catch-all type of session, as well as private readings, personal light language, transmissions, etc. I've been doing this work since October 2018 for quite a while, and I've been reading people my whole life. So yeah, that's maybe what you need to know about me, but you can also read more about me on my website. And oh, there are a few more readings. Okay, let's do a couple more. Maybe spend a couple more minutes. Let's see if we can make it as quick as possible. Okay, so if you would like a free reading, you leave a comment with your name and a question. It could be yes or no, general, love, health, career. Okay, and I see you guys. I just want to make sure that I reiterate for it. And if you do want to skip the line and make sure that you are read, and get a more in-depth reading, donations of $20 minimum. All the links are in my profile, and then you let me know in the comments that you did donate. And then the donation exchange for readings is $20, and then the $33 for energy work and mediumship. Okay, so I'm going to Veronica. I'm going to fill into yours. Let me know that you're still here. Veronica says, will I be in a relationship this summer? Oh, boy. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. Okay, wait, okay, all right. Okay, I got you. All right. I'm gonna pull a card. Whoa. Okay. So the card that I get for you, Veronica, is impulsive. It's actually the Champion of Swords in reverse. Out of your depth, sarcastic, insincere, out of control. This actually feels like, because swords are all about swords are all about communication. This actually feels like taking a step back. Take a step back to examine how you communicate when you're in a relationship, whether it's romantic, whether it's platonic, whether it's business, whether it's friend, doesn't matter. Because it feels like there's a sharp tongue when it comes to a romantic partner. And if you want to be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship, no need. I mean, like, if you want to be in a relationship, to be in a relationship, you don't need to ask me. You can just be in a relationship. It does feel like there is a call or an inner desire to have a more long-lasting one. And it feels like there is the thing that's coming through the most for me is examining how you speak to another and you communicate in your relationship, and how the other is communicating to you, as well as listening. How is that going? As far as, are you going to be in a relationship this summer? Really, that gets to be up to you. You know, I'm not here to say yes, no, whatever. I'm just going to tune in to see if there's any, like, what timelines are there. I actually get a lot of no's on this one, my dear. Now, again, this gets to be your choice, because you get to choose whether you are in one, or you pursue one or not. I get no. I just get no. This doesn't feel like the perfect, like, ripe, juicy timing for you. This doesn't feel like the timing for you yet to be in that relationship that you might be wanting to cultivate and pull in, because it doesn't feel like you're quite ready, my dear. Okay, so I will say that with the utmost love and delicateness, but it doesn't feel like you will be. Okay. Okay. You're welcome, my dear. Thank you for being here. Um, let's see. Let's do one more. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. 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 All right. I just had to check in. So, Jackie, I'm actually feeling you. How should I handle this conversation I need to have today? Let me know that you're still here. Feeling anxious. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tune into your energy, my dear. Okay. I'm just going to relay what comes through with confidence, with respect, with honor, with dignity. So, what comes in mainly here is remember that it's not always necessary to be sharp or aggressive. You can be assertive and firm without having to be rude. Does that make sense? So it does feel like be firm and confident because you've made a choice, and now you simply get to relay that, and because this feels like a moment where you get to, like, feel the fear and do it anyway. And in those moments that we feel the fear and do it anyway, it's an act of courageousness, it's an act of bravery, and it's an act of empowerment. And we feel the empowerment even like afterwards, after we've done the thing, we're like, okay, and how do you want to handle that? You get to handle that with dignity, integrity, honor, respect, with respect to both of you, of like, hey, I'm going to say this thing. This is my truth and I'm owning it. If you don't agree with it, like, they get to have their opinions. They get to have their projections. They get to have, if they get to have their emotions, whatever emotions it triggers in them, they get to have that. That's not yours. Your mission, your mission or your job or the main thing here is be confident in your decision, be confident in what you have to say, handle it with dignity and honor to both of you. Okay? And you're gonna do just fine. You're gonna do just fine. And even if you perceive yourself to have fucked up, quote unquote, or made a mistake, that's just feedback of, like, for next time. Not necessarily next time, but like for how you want to show up in the future, in future conversations, in future, just in the future, okay? In future communications. There you go. So you got this. You got this. It just feels like you're second guessing yourself and you're doubting yourself a bit. But, like, own the fact that you've made a decision. Now you get to own all of that, girl. You get to own that. Be confident in it. Be confident in it. Be confident in it. You've made a decision. Now you just get to relay how you feel. And if the other person gets emotional, they get to have their emotions. You don't have to attach to them. They get to have their emotions. If they start to, like, become rude or aggressive, then that's where you get to respect both of you and cut the conversation off, or whatever it is that you want to do, right? You get to make a decision of, like, how to pivot. You get to be resilient in that moment. So own that. Own your truth. It just feels like own it. You've made your decision. You know what you want to do. So just be confident in that. You get to own it. And this is part of you owning your voice, owning your truth. Okay? Approach with love. Yeah, that's great. I always want to approach with love and understanding, but I want to stand my guard. And here's the thing, you don't even have to stand your guard. You can. And I totally get this, because when I first started doing lives in 2021, I would get really, really offended by people, like by quote unquote trolls or whatever. I I get offended because I was so attached to what people thought of me. And I'm like, no, I don't need to be attached to that. If people have their emotions, their opinions, or that I'm doing something wrong or demonic or whatever, they get to have that. That's not mine. It was just my own attachments to what I needed as far as like validation or whatever. So they get to have their shit. You don't even have to be guarded if you don't want to. But again, that gets to be your choice. So you can definitely have your boundaries. Know your boundaries. You know, if this person starts getting aggressive or whatever, you get to say, okay, I'm not available for this. If you would like to continue the conversation another time, I'm here. If not, this is what I feel, and you get to be confident in that. Says you're right. I kept going back and forth about even having the conversation. Yeah. This is where you get to empower yourself and stand in your truth and just own your shit. You get to own it. I felt maybe it's my ego / pride I need to put to the side and let him know, or let him make me out as crazy if he needs. Yeah, exactly. People are going to have their projections and their perceptions of you regardless of how much you try to explain or whatever, because until they've healed those wounds within themselves, they're going to always mistakenly perceive or project their own wounded perceptions onto you. So you get to let them have that shit. That gets to be their shit. That's not your shit. You know your truth. You get to own that shit. And that's one of the most, that's one of the greatest things about owning your power is like you get to take your power back in that. You're so welcome, my dear. I'm glad that it helped you. I will quit going off on a tangent. So if that helped, I'm glad. Good luck with your conversation. And thank you for being here again, Jackie. I love you so much, girl. And that's going to be it for me for today. I will be back tomorrow. Energy pending. As long as I feel good, I will be back tomorrow with more live readings, free and paid readings live. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I will be back tomorrow. And if you do feel called to work one-on-one with me, all the links are either down below on YouTube or here on TikTok on my profile. So I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Infinite love and blessings. And remember, we are all in this together. I love you guys. Bye.